The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, I'm Maricela Calaton. This is TVWAN News. In this edition, Governor Peter continues agenda of inclusivity, SPIC celebrates Safety Day for staff, and Aussie schoolboys prevail over PNG juniors. Prime Minister James Marape has arrived in the capital of the United States of America for the second United States Pacific Island Countries Summit. The meet commenced today. The summit builds on the historic first-ever summit last year and arguments, discussions on shared priorities and commitments after the U.S. Pacific Islands Forum Leaders Dialogue in Port Moresby earlier in May 2023. It will focus on key priority issues of climate change, sustainable and inclusive economic development, maritime security, rules-based international order, and other multilateral priorities. The inaugural U.S. PIC was also held in Washington, D.C. last September. Senior Member of Parliament and former Minister for Finance, Sir John Pundari, has called on all government ministers and MPs to support Prime Minister Marape in getting the fundamentals right and having a coordinated approach to delivering services to the people. He stressed on cost-cutting measures and reducing the corporate and income tax.
Member for Kompiam Ambum Sir John Pundari has called for a collective approach as a government and relook at priorities by spending money in priority areas that stimulate economic growth. This includes cost-cutting measures in overseas travels with a large entourage and, most notable, creating new ministerial portfolios. He suggested looking at the public service and merge duplicate departments and agencies.
We have been in government for 4 years. We need to stop playing the blame game. We need to collectively take responsibility and ownership over economic challenges that this country is confronted with.
Sir John further suggested reducing the corporate and income tax rates, which will in turn stimulate the economy in the short to medium term.
Present arrangement of Kumul Petroleum Holdings collecting the revenue under the current structure amounts to a lot of wastage. And as a citizen and as a leader of this country, I am concerned and worried, and we've got to do the right thing by it.
He also called on the government to reopen the Pogara mine and escalate the Wafigolpu mine and Papua LNG to construction pace immediately.
Our people out there are dependent on the working class for school fees, for compensation, for other needs, etc., etc. Given the tough times we are going through, with the escalation of the prices of basic goods, for instance, rice as well as tin fees, even though this falls within the domains of having the price controlled, the pain on our people are too much, and we all appreciate that, and I do not have to repeat that. Increasing this taxable income can assist, can support, alleviate some of the problems and the challenges of course we have out there on our people.
Freddie Moe, TV1 News.
Said John also made calls to update the common role and allocate funding for biometrics immediately. This includes addressing the black illegal economy.
I have been, and many others have been, talking about addressing the black economy. The unrecorded, or those that practice illegal economies simply because they do not want to pay a tax to the government. We need to address this immediately. These are people who are trading in cash, be it nationals or foreign expatriates for that matter. We need to look at helping and supporting IRC or customs for that matter with financial resourcing purposely to addressing the black economy or the illegal economy. The country, I believe, is losing a lot of taxable income simply because people just do not want to come into the formal economy. It is not the Prime Minister alone that has to address in fixing what is a bleeding economy. It is for all ministers of state, it is for all members of government to collectively put our heads together and start refocusing and looking at what are the priorities now that we have to take collective responsibility and collectively address.
Treasurer Ian Lynn Stuckey is positive Papua New Guinea has met the economic reform benchmarks agreed to by the International Monetary Fund. The 18 benchmarks set out in the Treasurer's presentation to Parliament, 17 have been met and one has had a minor delay. In addition, Lynn Stuckey said there has been staff-level agreement for new benchmarks that will be taken to NEC for consideration. During final meeting of the first review visit from September 6 to 21, the IMF review team indicated that less than half of countries passed the list first review process of an IMF program. The Treasurer said despite all the political critics, PNG continues well with economic reforms on budget repair, lifting incomes, creating jobs, reducing foreign exchange shortages, and fighting corruption. The central provincial government continues its agenda of inclusivity towards marginalized wards to ensure the delivery of basic government services and to unite Central Province before 2025. Over the weekend, Governor Rufina Peter visited Boteka in Ward 3 and Siraka in the Vanapa Brown local level government, Hirikoyari district. LLG Council President Wayne Yorive accompanied her along with councillors from the respective wards. Boteka is located on the outskirts of Port Moresby, past the Catholic Church-owned Nazareth at the turn-off before Laloki Bridge. Established in the late 1950s, this area is home to now 300 families who have slowly migrated out of the area due to lack of the most basic services. On meeting the locals, many expressed the lack of basic service delivery in the area despite close proximity to the city of Port Moresby. Following her visit to Boteka, the governor went to Siraka, a place notorious for stolen cars to be hidden from the police and their owners because of the many roads and uninhabited forest, making it an ideal location for criminal gangs. Siraka was established in 1963 by the people of East Keramak, Gulf Province, who have lived in this harsh tropical environment bordering the hunting grounds of Papa Village and the Vanapa Brown LLG, with many engaging in fishing, hunting subsistence farmers as their way of earning an income. Ward Councillor Terence Farapo, in speaking to the community, highlighted that it is a first time any sitting member of Parliament or governor had visited Siraka, and this was the time and space needed for the governor to hear their pleas. A woman's representative who wishes to remain anonymous called on the governor to ensure financial literacy programs can be included in the ward development plans for Siraka, since the mothers have been struggling for many years with financial literacy. You're watching TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Want to know to win a Scale Rice Matchy Pack? Scale Rice is giving away hundreds of really scale prizes for that Scale weekend. Prizes include over 200 Scale Rice Nambi set, over 190 Scale Rice Eskies, 44 JBL speakers with 2 wireless mics. To enter, buy any Scale Rice or Ori Rice product, write your name and contact details at the back of the receipt, drop in the entry box. There's 116 winners fortnightly, 16 promo locations and 4 fortnightly draws. Time to all.
More details in store or follow us on our social pages. Terms and conditions apply.
All Mama Flame is story all Sam.
Me say you sing flame flower long one year. Me say me Kim Kai Kai belong family belong me. You go more yet.
Man belong me save like flower balls belong me what them kawa war na spring onion. All pikinini belong me save like him to mas pineapple donut me save walk him lo house. Ne me kumo mix him what them cow na karamapim long flower.
Tasty hash browns.
Time is scaling one time olara pela Kai Kai. Me save kissing more Kai Kai long all get a toya mi tromoy one time flame flower.
You in a packing more one time flame flower.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Fine PNG made.
Open match.
Moves it out. Short ball from halfway, moving it quickly. Nice quick hands. And Bayo Clinic stroke back under the stick. Yeah, nice transfers in the tackle.
This is insane!
Live AFL, every week on ABC Australia.
Welcome back. The South Pacific International Container Terminal in Lae celebrated its annual Safety Day with all of its employees and their families. The event was hosted on Saturday, September 23rd at the SPICT premises at the Lae Tidal Basin. On Saturday, September 23rd, the South Pacific International Container Terminal in Lae celebrated its annual Safety Day with its employees and their families. Dressed in matching orange and black polo shirts, this year's event is a celebration of the terminal's milestone of achieving more than 2,000 days of operations without lost time injury. Chief Operating Officer, ICT SI South Pacific, George Guare, highlighted that safety is a journey towards a mindset rather than just a set of rules to follow within the facility premises. And they are very proud of their journey so far, proud of their people's attitude and their initiatives to make SPICT a safer place for everyone. Under the theme Zero Harm and following its Fatal 5, a group of safety risk SPICT employees were split into 5 different teams for activities and a talent show display in relation to control of contractors, stored energy, transportation, suspended loads, and working at heights. By continuously investing in modern equipment, IT infrastructure, and people upskilling in safety international standards of terminal operations, SPICT's objective is to mitigate its identified fatal 5 risk for employees as well as for customers and port users. The Chief Executive Officer of ICTSI South Pacific, Robert Maxwell, said many of their employees spend almost half of their day in SPICT. It is like their second home, and their colleagues are their second family. SPICT wants them to feel safe, as well as their families to have the peace of mind that their loved ones are in a safe work environment. He emphasized that Safety Day is the biggest event of the year for both terminals in Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea's prominent Bilum fiber artist Florence Jaukau Kamel has encouraged citizens to have an open mind. The Gorka-based fashion designer voiced her frustration over negative criticism received on social media regarding her container wear in the weird wear category. The piece involved a model wearing empty container bottles around her head and body. Kamel, who is popularly known for her trailblazing Bilum wear, said this is their new approach to educating people. They're using weird stuff so it brings or drives attention to the story behind the piece. Kamel stressed on the need to be sustainable and environmentally friendly, adding marginalized Papua New Guineans collect empty container bottles to resell and sustain their livelihood. Kamel plans on hosting a weird fashion runway in 2024. The National Cultural Commission today presented a check of 10,000 kina to the committee of the Drekikir Cultural Show. Receiving the check was committee chairman Harold Melehe. A check of 10,000 kina was presented to the Drekikir Cultural Committee for this year's show to be hosted at the showground of Mambul in Drekikir, East Sepik Province. Show committee chairman Harold Melehe, in thanking the National Cultural Commission, stated how little funding they've received in support for the show and expressed that the presentation from NCC is significant and appreciated.
Port Moresby, village boy, to be here in Port Moresby, organize an event which is a significant event back at home, especially in Drekikir. Thank you, NCC. I am, as a chairman, I really appreciate the team, NCC team, to support us.
NCC's David Time says Papua New Guinea would be on the losing end if we didn't try to maintain activities to promote indigenous tradition and culture.
Youth festivals as the platform, our platform to maintain, because basically when you do it, you physically engage yourself in doing it, then you acquire the knowledge. The knowledge or traditional knowledge have been transmitted through participation. So such festivals have become an important medium where we use now NCC to maintain our culture, because given our cultural diversity, it's so much for us, and we are struggling against the advanced communication technological innovations that are coming on us at a very fast rate. And we will be at the losing end if we lose some of our indigenous cultures that we have.
Furthermore, NCC's Jenny Jeffrey stated that the Commission ensures support to all registered festivals.
We ensure that all the registered festivals that we have under our cultural division, we ensure that at least we give them some recognition in terms of financial support to promote culture in Papua New Guinea.
Meantime, Chairman Melehe says this is the second event since the launch last year. He says with only 2 weeks left till the show, they are yet to receive funding commitments made from local government bodies. For now, the show committee remains hopeful. The 18th Annual Cairns Multicultural Festival, held on Saturday, September 23rd, transformed Fogati Park into a melting pot of diversity and unity. Festival goers were elated with the diverse offerings in dance, music and food.
Organized by the Cairns and Region Multicultural Association, Kama, this festival brought together over 35 community groups from various corners of the world. Kama, established in 2002, initially focused on advocating for refugee arrivals in Cairns, but has been running solely on volunteer support for the past 31 years. Kama's mission revolves around empowering cultural diversity, unity and awareness in Queensland, with more than 50 cultural groups under its umbrella in far north Queensland. The association provides a platform for communities to share their unique cultures through storytelling, food, dance, arts, crafts, music, and youth empowerment initiatives. The festival showcased a plethora of cultural performances, including the Bhutanese Community Cultural Dance Group, the Latin Roots Dance Group, and the mesmerizing Lion and Dragon Dance. Attendees were treated to a didgeridoo workshop by Jason Von Roll, offering a captivating live demonstration of this iconic instrument. Festival goers were elated with the diverse offerings in dance, music, and food. The cultural fashion show featured a variety of traditional attires from different parts of the world. The Cairns Multicultural Festival, an annual event celebration of cultural diversity, also outlined the spirit of unity and togetherness that defines the event. Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
During the Kama Festival in Cairns, Australia, the Zonta Club of Cairns displayed an international marquee. Carol Shipway, a representative of Zonta Club of Cairns Inc., highlighted Zonta International's global commitment to empowering women and improving their well-being. Locally, Zonta Cairns actively empowers women and works against violence directed at them. The club raises funds for organizations like Wheels of Wellness and Youth Link while offering encouragement awards to schoolgirls transitioning into the next phase of their lives. And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2750 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2675 US, $0.4127 Australian dollars, $0.2437 euro, and 39.34 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, crude oil and copper closed higher. The rest closed today lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. TV1 News continues when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hey, you want to talk? Want to win one of 4 Costa buses? Simply collect 6 SP Lager Red promo caps and enter the draw at a participating store near you. There are heaps of other great prizes to win too, like SP Hunters jerseys and other awesome SP Lager gifts. So enter the draw today for a chance to win. There's a bus to be won in Islands, Southern, Momase, and in New Guinea Islands. SP Lager, bungim yumi!
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
Hiya, Mama. You wait time, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, da mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves. The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 is almost here.
Oh, out! What a beauty! He's on absolute fire!
Chef Scott Laseth is cooking up the world's creepiest critters.
You with me? No.
Iguana, hagfish, and wild boar are just some of the items in this season's menu.
Let's eat. And eat. And eat. It's nothing like you've had anywhere.
Hey, dead meat!
Dead Meat, first and exclusive in Asia. Streaming now on Outdoor.
Welcome back. In regional news, the United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres convened a climate summit for the first time in 4 years. He was keen to avoid platforming greenwash. Instead of a long procession of leaders, the stage would be given only to those with credible policies and plans to keep the goals of the Paris Agreement alive. The absence of most of the world's biggest polluters spoke volumes. 3/4 of the G20 nations were left outside the door, with the United States, China, the United Kingdom, and India pushed off the guest list. Among those that made the cut, there were a handful of slightly improved goals and climate finance promises, nothing groundbreaking. The Climate Ambition Summit was billed as one of the crucial stepping stones to building a consensus ahead of COP28. A roadmap for the future of skills, training and employment in Australia is being set out by the federal government.
Called a white paper, but it's actually a blueprint on just how Australians can really take advantage of some of the major shifts that we're seeing in the economy, and it's also about how the government is going to tackle some of those challenges like lacklustre productivity and really sluggish wages growth. It is going to be released at midday, and importantly it's going to contain some information about exactly how a successful full employment will look for Australia, and that's in response to a Reserve Bank board review that had actually asked for that full employment data to be much more specific so that the government and agencies know exactly what sort of targets they're working towards, given that we haven't actually had a white paper full employment since 1945, just after the Second World War. We're also likely to see about 9 new policy initiatives. They will be across a range of cabinet portfolios, and the Treasurer Jim Chalmers says that this is going to be a whole of government approach because it's also going to tie in other issues and possibilities like the National Skills Agreement, the Universities Accord, and also the Migration Review as well. And so this white paper will reflect some of those issues that have come up in the past. One of the things that we're likely to see is actually a skills passport, and that is going to allow workers to be able to much more easily advertise their qualifications. Jim Chalmers has said that this is really important to ensure that we can upskill people and make sure that people actually have the in-demand skills and qualifications for moving ahead into the decades, those areas like care, digitisation and also net zero. And he says that this is about Australians being masters of their own destiny. Just in terms of some of those skills shortages, we're going to see the government pour in about $41 million into turbocharging TAFE centres of excellence, as well as making sure that they can accelerate the take-up of higher degrees and also apprenticeships in some of those really demand areas. And that's on top of the $325 million that's already been spent in this space. So there are certainly a lot of challenges ahead. However, this white paper hopes to address those and come up with some real opportunities for Australians and the shape of employment going forward.
U.S. President Joe Biden is set to establish diplomatic relations on Monday with 2 South Pacific nations, the Cook Islands and Niue, as his administration aims to show to Pacific Island leaders that it is committed to increasing American presence in the region. The announcement comes as Biden prepares to welcome leaders to Washington for a two-day U.S. Pacific Island Forum summit expected to focus heavily on the impact of climate change. Biden has put a premium on improving ties in the Pacific amid rising U.S. concern about China's growing military and economic influence. The forum includes Australia, Papua New Guinea, the Cook Islands, Micronesia, Fiji, French Polynesia, Kiribati, Nauru, New Caledonia, New Zealand, Niue, Palau, Republic of Marshall Islands, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tonga, Tuvalu, and Vanuatu. With the country on the brink of a housing building boom, some families are wondering if they'll ever be able to live in the homes they paid for. Building industry insiders warn that when things go wrong, there are no uniform rules to ensure someone is held accountable.
A family's entire life is neatly packed in this shipping container.
Oh, no, I reckon it's in one of the other ones.
Tasha and Ken have a home, but it's so defective the couple can't move in.
This house was everything to us, you know, we put all our money into it.
Two experts found a long list of problems with the Tasmanian house, including water pooling under the house and unsupported deck pillars. One surveyor referred to the deck as clearly non-compliant and just bad building practice.
So it's known as the defective house?
It is, yeah, it's quite famous on the coast here, unfortunately.
The couple are stuck with a $400,000 house they can neither move into nor sell. The company that took their money, Golden Homes, has folded. The owner didn't have a building license and instead relied on one granted to an employee who has recently resigned.
There's no clear rules around what these company structures should look like and who's responsible for what.
Several industry experts have told the ABC substandard, incomplete houses are rife.
We've got families that are falling to pieces. We've got people that are, well, in some cases, suicidal.
This surveyor wants regulations tightened right across Australia.
We need government to step up and make the builders accountable for their workmanship.
The time is ripe, with the states and territories planning to build more than 1 million homes over the next 5 years.
The Voices project was inaugurated on September 19 at the Hua Hin Retreat Centre, Thailand, with the participation of all the social communication delegates and youth representatives from around the East Asia-Oceania region. The young people shared their stories and experiences on digital addiction, substance addiction, violence, crime and oppression, and climate change, environment and indigenous peoples, either through live speeches and pre-recorded videos. Voices is a unique platform to listen and give voice to the voiceless, accompanying them and empowering them in their struggles so that their voices are heard. Awareness is created, the desired hope is arrived at eventually. They spoke of the struggle of freedom in Myanmar, to gang wars in East Timor, and to abuse and oppression in Papua New Guinea. Violence and crime continues to grip the East Asia-Oceania region as the youth's voice for change. And that ends the news segment. I'll be back with sports after the break.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Henao, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
Are you ready to meet the best version of yourself? The one with the bright, confident smile? You've got to take pride in how good you look, how fresh your breath smells, and how great you feel. to bust it at work, to be your best for uni, or to catch the eye of that special someone. You've got to brush up your vibe with whiter, healthier, brighter teeth. Brush up for confidence with Colgate.
Get ready for more! Digicell's new Big Plus Supersized Data Plans. Now with more options, more plans, and more time. Choose from our daily plans, now valid for 24 hours, weekly plans, or even a monthly plan from our suite of Big Plus Supersized Data Plans. All with more data and starting from as low as 1 kina. Yes, you heard right. What's up, all? Yes, yeah! Only Digicell's Big Plus Supersized Data Plans gives you more. Activate today on My Digicell app or dial *675# only with Digicell.
Your 2022 Dahlia medalist, Nico Hines.
It's time to recognise the positional team of the year. A full starting side of 1 through 13 who hold the most votes in their position through the regular season.
Welcome back. It was a thrill-in-one wicket victory for the PNG Barramundis in the fourth and final match of 2023 Malaysia Cricket T20 Tri-Nations Cup from Bayomas Oval, Malaysia. On a tough battling pitch with overhead conditions also contributing, the Barras elected to bowl first and quickly found some momentum. It was a complete bowling performance highlighted by all 6 bowlers taking a wicket each, with Charles Amini Jr. 2 for 15, the only multiple wicket taker. The pitch continued to be a difficult surface and it was always going to be a tough chase, but some cool heads under pressure were able now at the end, along with Sema Kamea, who came together at 9 for 77, saw the Barras come home in a thriller. The result caps off a brilliant tournament for the team, winning all 4 T20 international matches and heading home champions as they build towards the exciting 2024 ICC T20 World Cup to be held in the USA and West Indies. The PNG Netball National Championship has returned after 2-year hiatus. It got underway today and ends this Friday, September 30. Teams from across the country have come together in the nation's capital for the event.
Teams participating in the 2023 Netball Championships are from Eastern Highlands, West New Britain, Morobeh, Medang, Gulf Autonomous Region of Bougainville, Central, and the National Capital District. Arab and Eastern Highlands teams arriving this Tuesday. The opening ceremony took place at the Ridgeflin Netball Court. Abao MP Sir Puka Temu, NCD Governor Powis Parkop, and representatives from the event sponsor, Newcrest Mining Limited, were there to witness. President and Chairman of Netball PNG, Ulato Ave, welcomed everyone in her opening speech and encouraged players to forge friendships as teams and as individuals. Lending rights sponsor Newcrest Mining Limited is hopeful Netball PNG gets better with its program at all levels.
Newcrest is pleased to be supporting the PNG National Championship because we want to see netball flourish in the country, not only at the high level through the national team, the Peppers, but also to the provincial teams, the district teams, and especially our young players, creating that pathway for those young players to one day be a member of the Peppers team.
The tournament concludes with the finals this Friday, September 30. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Another dominant performance by the Australian PM's 13 senior men's team after sustaining an early surge from the PNG side, who got on the front foot early with a try to Nene McDonald to lead 6-0 before the Aussies got into their rhythm.
PNG was first to open the scoring in Saturday's PM's 13 match against Australian counterparts before the boys from Down Under found their rhythm. However, PNG kept themselves in the grind, contesting at every phase of attack and defence and making the Australian work overtime to defend the scoreboard after scoring back-to-back tries to hit the lead 12-6. The NRL star-studded side scrambled well to sustain pressure, despite PNG captain Kyle Leibart's menacing spiral kicks courtesy of the strong southeasterly windy conditions. PNG found their way back into the contest with a try to equalise 12-all. As the match went into the final quarter and points were at a premium, Australian captain Mal Meninga had to call upon his main spine, Terry Evans, Ben Hunt and captain Cameron Murray. They were injected back into the fray, resulting in 2 late tries to secure a tough victory at the end, 30 points to 18. After the match, a relieved coach Meninga commended PNG for their courageous effort, but praised his boys for hanging on right at the death.
Yeah, full marks to the PNG side, Prime Minister's 13. They played really well, a lot of effort. Really proud of my fellas. You know, had to work really hard. Blew a few cobwebs out. Execution wasn't the best, but you know, what a great promotion for our great game. In saying that, I thought it was a great spectacle. The fans were great today. Got behind the local side and us. You know, every time we scored, the big cheer went up as well. So yeah, it's rugby league's the winner.
For the Australian PM's 13 captain, he admitted the boys from PNG turned up to play, and they showed that in the opening exchanges, which caught them a little rusty, but recovered well.
Close to a 10, you know, we knew they were going to turn up with that intensity, that physicality that PNG is known for and they're characterised by. So I don't know, maybe we underestimated them a little bit and how hard it was going to be out there. So we probably didn't respect the ball as much as we should have and put ourselves under a little bit too much pressure there. But I don't want to take anything away from the PNG lads. They turned up to play. They played a really tough game and kept us on our toes all game. And you know, we're happy to come away with a win.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The Australian schoolboys and Australian schoolgirls teams both claimed wins in their matches against their junior PNG counterparts in tough games played at Santos National Football Stadium on Sunday. The schoolboys were able to steal a late win in a bruising and seesawing encounter which saw the lead change several times before Jackson Edgar crossed with just over 3 minutes remaining to put the visiting side in front.
There was strong performance in both teams, with the forwards made to work hard. The crowd was firmly behind the home side, with fullback Gregory Warwick, who recently claimed the Hastings Deering Quolls Premiership with Townsville Blackhawks, and hooker Finley Glare standouts. The junior skipper Glare was a handful at dummy half, sparking much of their attacking play, but the Australian side were able to do just enough to stay in the game and get in front when it mattered, despite making a few errors in the challenging and windy conditions. Australian schoolboys 20 defeated PNG Junior Kumul 16.
Credit to Australia. On the last play, they threw the ball, they chanced their arm, and they scored a 60-metre try down the other end. So really happy and proud of our guys, and just shows there is a pathway here at Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, coming on a big stage like this with all the fans and all the family and friends coming out to support us was really well. It was really good for us. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the win for them, but their passion and their cheering on the crowd got us through most of the game, so thank you.
They were hard and they were ready to win it in the last minute. Our boys showed a lot of character to hold in there in very uncomfortable conditions. So the Papua New Guinea people and families should be very proud. And I'm very proud of the Australian team because they had every chance probably not to win, but they found a way to win, and that was great rugby league. And as they say, rugby league was the winner.
Early in the day, the Australian schoolgirls side too strong for the PNG Junior Orchids, posting 26-0 win with Mercedes Taulele Siala Kaylee Talon Henika and Ebony Rafstrand-Smith all crossing for doubles. The match was a close encounter early, with the visitors only ahead 8-0 at the halftime break, before they were able to run away with the match later in the game, with most of the tries coming via their outer edges. It was the first time the PNG Junior Orchids played, and they gave a strong account of themselves, while it was the second time an Australian schoolgirls side had toured overseas following a visit to Fiji last year. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
And that ends the sports segment. We'll now have the weather forecast. Weather for the main centers for the next 24 hours. Momase, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with rain and possible riverine flooding areas. All centers reporting few showers and possible thunderstorms. Highlands, scattered showers and thunderstorms with rain areas. All centers expecting rain showers and thunderstorms. Southern, isolated showers and thunderstorms with rain drizzles. Port Moresby and Daru partly cloudy with possible showers. New Guinea Islands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with rain areas. All centers expecting showers with possible thunderstorms in Lorengau, Kavieng and Kokopo. Ocean forecast for the next 24 hours. Bismarck Sea. Seas moderate to rough, becoming very rough over south sectors. Southeast winds of 20 to 33 knots, reaching 47 knots over south sectors. Scattered showers and thunderstorms with areas of rain. Coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru Kiwai Islands to Kerma to Yule Island to Port. Seas 2.5 to 3.5 meters. And that ends the news tonight. Pleasant evening. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank